What's going on, people? We are Tottenham TV, back here, back smiling. Spurs have got 3 points.
Oh, what a wonderful day.
Oh, what a wonderful day indeed. The Tottenham had, they're calling it. The Yido had.
Exactly.
You know, it wasn't the deck he had yesterday, but we'll still call it the deck he had because he owns that stadium. Spurs own that stadium. And if only we could play there every week, pretty much. But
we should make our home stadium.
yeah, we'll get into all the stuff about the game a bit later on, but first and foremost, how is everyone doing today? And I guarantee you the majority of people have got to have smiles on their face after the weekend we've just had. But we do have a bit of transfer news to bring you first and foremost. We're going to get into a Tottenham update and we're going to talk about Luka Vuskovic up first. And on Luka Vuskovic, Romano said before the game yesterday that Hamburg are close to completing a loan deal for Luka Vuskovic from Tottenham. Negotiations are underway with an agreement set to be completed soon. Obviously, he was on the bench yesterday. Yeah, what do you make out of this one? Because he's been making pretty much both squads so far, which clearly states that there's a need for him if he's on the bench.
Absolutely, there is, because Dragshin's currently injured. I know we have Danso there, but at the moment, there is the need for him in case maybe a left-sided defender gets injured. I know we have Ben Davis, but it seems as though Frank sees him as more of a left-back than a centre-back. I don't think he's played centre-back yet under Frank, has he?
No, but you do kind of get the impression, though, like if Vuskovic was to go, he'll deploy him there a bit more.
I guess when it comes to Vuskovic, first of all, I don't know why it's taken so long to get this loan deal out of the way. Like, it should be a fairly simple one. If he wants to go to Hamburg, we're looking to get him a Bundesliga loan to get more experience. I don't know why it's taken to the last stage of the window. I don't know if there's negotiations over loan fees and all these different things, which I wouldn't be surprised. But I guess, does it mean one of two things? We heard that we'll only potentially send. We heard that we're looking to bring another left centre back. So, are we waiting to bring one in? Are we waiting to see the status of Kota Sakai and seeing if he's ready, or are we just going to send him out on loan without basically any recourse? Which is Spurs have done that before as well. So, I'm not sure which. What it means that he's sending him out on loan. Does it mean anything? Or are we just regardless going to send him out on loan regardless of what happens with our centre-back situation? But I just don't want to leave ourselves short going into the season.
Yeah, what's going on with Kota Sakai? Like,
just injured.
What's going on? Like, no one's like.
Frank he doesn't mention. Yeah,
he never mentions him. Like usually he mentions all the injured players, but no Kota Sakai mentioned ever in his press conferences. So, what's going on with him? Is he planning to use him as part of the squad next season? If Kota Sakai is being planned to use as part of the kind of backup options and rotation options, it does make a bit more sense. But he just never mentions him. So,
you wouldn't know we signed him.
Yeah, literally, because he talks about his new signings and never mentions Kota.
And even when in the press conference yesterday, he said Ali Gold asked him, "Do you think your squad is stronger this season and was last season?" And he said, "Well, we've lost Maddison and Son, and we've brought in Paulinho and Kudus."
Yeah.
So it's a kind of series. I was like, "You brought in Kota as well?"
Yeah, I know. He literally said that, we brought in 2 players. That's what he said.
It's like as if I don't know. Does he not even consider him an option? I don't know what's going on with that one. It's unless the injury is worse than we think and he's out for a lot longer. I don't know.
Yeah.
Which makes it a bit even stranger that Vuskovic would be going out on loan, though, if that's the case, if we're not bringing anyone in. But we have heard that we're looking to bring someone in, so maybe we're waiting for that to happen to ratify this loan.
Yeah.
And maybe it's like ready to go kind of thing.
Well, everything will be revealed pretty soon because not long left of the transfer window. Just over a week to go. 8 days left of the transfer window.
Tomorrow, yeah.
Which is crazy to think about because it just feels like there's just so much business still to do. Like Bissouma's still here. And we haven't got anyone out the door. Apart from Sonny, no one's left.
Yeah, everyone's still here who we thought we need to get rid of. So, hell of a lot of business. Yeah. Hell of a lot of business to go.
Going to be a hell of a busy week. But look, let's go on to some potential incomings. And first of all, we're going to talk about Nico Paz, as Demasio gave us an update regarding his situation yesterday. And he says that Tottenham have raised their offer to around 50 million euros for Nico Paz, but there is still no approval for the transfer, neither on the player side nor from the club. Como has already rejected a 40 million euro bid from Spurs at the start of this month, and Como value their star player at 70 million euros. So if we believe this report to be true, we're still 20 million euros away of what they want.
Which is, in Tottenham terms, is quite significant.
Yeah.
We know that. What I would say about Damasio is he's been quite wrong recently, and I don't know what's going on with his sources. You know, he used to be quite close to like Fabio, and like it felt like a lot of the time that Damasio was kind of like the mouthpiece for Fabio, like back in the day. But recently, he's just been getting everything wrong. He said Angel's staying. He said Esteve. We're in talks with Esteve. What else did he say? He's just been every report he's been saying has just been wrong recently. Like, so I don't know whether to believe it.
It's been for a while, actually, hasn't it?
Yeah, so I don't know how much to believe out of this right now, because his record currently isn't the strongest. But if I take it at face value, I really want him. I think he's the kind of number 10 in terms that I think we should be looking at, like a really good number 10 with vision, good passer. If I was like describe him, like in terms of how he kind of plays, he plays like similarly to kind of like Cole Palmer. He's like a similar kind of profile to him. Quite languid on the ball, very calm, but always seems to have that extra yard, always seems to have that little bit of space. I think he's a bit taller, a bit stronger, like he's quite good physically. So I really would be interested in getting someone like him in. Obviously, right now as well, we are getting nearer to that deadline, so we need a midfield like him. So if we have to overpay, I think we should. But, you know, Madrid are involved in this deal. That we might have to negotiate with them as well. Does that complicate things? Are Tottenham willing to go, you know, basically pay more than they would have paid for Eze for a player who's way less proven in a different league, and is a bit younger? So, I mean, I guess the age thing is not a massive issue for Spurs, but we know being proven and stuff and overpaying, that's not something we tend to do. So we're going to have to basically change our strategy a bit to go for him, essentially, and it's going to have to be a very late change to the strategy. You know, are Tottenham worried that if they're doing this, are they panic buying, or is it the right move? That's the determination they got to make.
Yeah. Well, regardless, if this bid is true, we're going to have to go higher than that, and it's not going to be able to be done at that price. It's such a difficult deal. There's just so many moving parts to this. With the Real Madrid situation, you know, it was reported earlier in the window as well that he doesn't even want to leave Como for this season. So it does seem like this deal could be, you know, just a bit of a pipe dream, to be honest.
Yeah, it seems one of those where, in theory, like, you know, he's at Como, you know, he's a number 10. Could we get it done? But it's one of those where we'll in a few days' time, we'll be like, oh, this is too complicated, that's too complicated, and we'll walk away.
It does feel like with Nico Paz, if it is true that he wants to stay at Como just to further his development, it feels like he's got good people around him and a good head on his shoulders, you know, prioritizing kind of staying at Como, nurturing himself, his development. He's doing really well there. And he's such a young player. He's got such a big future ahead of him.
So you're saying him wanting to stay makes you want him more?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
Always want what you can't have.
Exactly. Apart from Eze, I don't want Eze anymore.
Forget fuck him.
But yeah, that's the Nico Paz situation. Next up, we are going to go back and talk about Savinho. We obviously know we played Man City yesterday. Everyone was in attendance, from Johan Lang, Daniel Levy, the Man City hierarchy, Savinho's agents. There was apparent talks yesterday after the game regarding the Savinho situation. And the reports are from Simon Jones from the Mail, says that Tottenham have held further talks with Man City over a deal for Savinho on Saturday. Spurs are prepared to offer over £60 million for the Brazilian. Dean Jones Soccer says that Tottenham are growing increasingly confident that they can complete a deal to sign Savinho. Man City are surprised by how much the player wants to move. Savinho has been convinced by the role that he will play under Thomas Frank and believes he has a great chance of fulfilling his potential at Spurs rather than at Manchester City. The scoreline yesterday only strengthened his belief further.
There was chance in the away end yesterday of, are you watching Savinho?
Oh, really?
Bit of banter from the Spurs fans. Well, I would say the price seems to be increasing by 10 million with each report. So that's not great news if you're Daniel Levy and or Tottenham fans hoping for this deal to get over the line. As I've said, I think if the fee is around 60 million, I really hope Spurs will pull the trigger, and I think that's something we'll do. But if you're talking about 80 million, I just don't see Tottenham going that high. I mean, as much I don't really care if they do or not. I'd love them to. I don't see them doing it. I think the deal would have to be done at around £60 million. I think 70 million will end up being too steep for this board. In fact, I even think 60 million. I don't think they'll pay that straight up. I think they'll probably want to do like 50 plus 10 or something. That knowing Tottenham, I don't see them giving them 60 million in a straight bid. I don't see that as well. But we are getting desperate. We're getting into a difficult situation, and time's running out. So, unfortunately, the reality is, Man City hold all the cards here. They know we're desperate. They don't have to sell. They've got a good player who I know he wants to leave, but I don't see him downing tools if he stays. I don't think, I don't know if it's that kind of desperation to leave where he's going to refuse to play, because that's going to hurt his World Cup chances even more. So he knows that Man City know if he ends up staying, he's going to knuckle down. It's not like he's going to down tools. So, we don't hold the cards here. So we're going to have to compromise.
Yeah, absolutely. And it all is obviously very reliant on Man City getting a replacement in if we were to sign him. And the Rodrigo talks have just gone completely so cold, haven't they?
I think he was he unused
Rodrigo
again on the
ages.
weekend?
I'm not
I
sure.
can't remember.
I'm not sure. But, I mean, with Savinho, is it not a bit more, is it not positive, though, that Spurs are kind of still at the table now? Because the reports have literally not changed at all since the first week we were linked to him till now. And there must be something going on in the background if Spurs are still at the table.
I've seen Tottenham set the table for way too long than they should have before. So I'm not going to get too much hope.
Now, like there's a week to go in the transfer window. Surely, if they're going to get someone in, unless they're completely working in the darkness like we've seen before, and someone completely out of the blue is going to pop up.
I wouldn't be surprised if this is a distraction. Knowing Tottenham, it's been non-stop with the same thing, same news. Not much has changed. I wouldn't be surprised if out of nowhere we agree a deal with some guy from some foreign league, 30 million, and everyone's going to look him up saying, "Oh, actually, this guy's sick and he's the next big thing." I wouldn't be surprised if that happens, to be honest.
However, after the game yesterday, him and Pedro Porro started following each other on social media.
Interesting.
And also, apparently, he started following a barber in London.
Oh, one of those, like Gibbs White did.
But Gibbs White actually was going to come.
True. Let's see. Let's see if anything comes of it. I'm sceptical. I've been sceptical from the start of this deal. I haven't seen anything yet to suggest that it's likely to happen.
The thing is, right, like any deal, we're going to be sceptical over after what we've been through this summer. Like Morgan Gibbs White, Eze. After that, it just... it's hard to get hopeful on any deal. It's
just more I'm reading the conditions of the deal, and I just don't really see Tottenham doing it. I'm looking at what's being reported, and based on what's being reported, I don't really see this deal happening. That's just my take on it. Yeah. I'm not saying it's more unlikely than any other one. I'm just saying it's based on what I'm reading in the reports. It's not based on my gut feeling just because I've been burned so many times. Obviously, that leaks into it as well, but I'm just going on the facts of what's being reported and how much City want, right? And given what the player is, and how old he is, and how much experience he has, do I see Tottenham completing this deal for the price that City want because City hold all the cards? And I just don't.
Yeah, also, I get that, but also on the flip side of it, if we just read or if we're looking into the press and what the press are suggesting, this one's probably closer than anyone that we're led to believe.
That's a worry.
That is a worry because there's no new names being added in apart from who we're going to talk about next. And we're, like I keep saying, 8 days left to go of the window. And we just need someone in so desperately. Who's it going to be? When's it going to be? How's it going to be? We need someone in, man. We need 2 players in, not 3.
Yeah, I think we're not going to get these proven players, in my opinion. I've got a
They've run out these proven players.
That's what I'm saying. We're not going to get I don't know if you count Savinho as proven, but I think we're going to start looking in the foreign league soon, and we're going to get a cheap, probably a 30 million deal or something for someone.
You reckon Savinho was watching the game yesterday, being like, "Oh, get me to that club"?
Maybe. I don't know. I think he's probably looking at thinking, if I was playing on that right wing for City, maybe I could have done a better job.
No, he didn't want to be in the Jed Spence penalty.
That's probably true as well, actually.
And last but not least, we're going to talk about Lucas Paqueta. Simon Jones from the Mail says that Tottenham are showing interest in West Ham attacking midfielder Lucas Paqueta. He's probably like the last Premier League proven player that we could possibly go for. We know it's an absolute shit show at West Ham at this moment in time. I wouldn't be surprised if Paqueta wants out. We know he's cleared of all the charges that were put against him last season, and scored an unbelievable goal. Well, it was a great hit. Keeper definitely should have done better, but I would love to see Paqueta through the club, through the doors at the club, and not only because I think he's a very good player, just because of the piss it's going to boil if we get him in.
Yeah, I mean, you know what? It's what we joked in our London is Ours video. You should go check it out. To Nicky about, he was saying, where do Spurs go from here? I was like, maybe you put in a cheeky bid for Paqueta, because I'm looking at West Ham and I wouldn't be surprised if he puts in a transfer request right now. I wouldn't be surprised if he's desperate to get out there with what's going on. He's literally surrounded by such average players and such awful quality. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if he's desperate to leave. But, if we hadn't signed Kudus off them this summer, I would actually say maybe we got a chance of this. But I really don't. I think there would be such a meltdown if they would sell another player to Tottenham, another good player to Tottenham. I think they might have death threats or something. I'm not even joking. Like, I just can't see, like, the West Ham fans accepting that in any way, shape, or form.
It would be poetry in motion, though. It would be poetry in motion if we would sign Paqueta on the back of when he scored on Friday night. He ran over to the West Ham fans, touching the badge and all that kind of stuff. Can you imagine the next game he turns out in a Tottenham shirt?
I just can't see it. It'll be too good. Something like that. And also, when it comes to Paqueta, I'm not saying I don't want him, but is he a proper 10 or is he more than like an 8? Like that's good at going forward?
I think he's like one of those hybrids. 8/10.
I guess like a Gibbs White, maybe. Yeah.
Exactly. I think he would suit well in this Spurs team, to be honest. And I think like you've seen him really knuckle down at West Ham. I think there was a period where he looked really good, but it's just been such a shit show at West Ham for so long. Like, I think in a new environment, like look at Kudus last season for West Ham, he looked terrible. Yeah. And
he had a bad season as well, didn't he, Paqueta?
Yeah, and I think the season before, like, there was a period where he looked really good. And I think if he had better players around him, a better structure around him, I think he would look phenomenal. Yeah,
I think he's a top player. I think he's a really good player. And he just needs focusing. He needs a new environment, I feel. And I'm not saying he's going to have a bad season at West Ham. I'm just saying I think
he probably will.
He might do, but I reckon if he was playing for a team like Tottenham, people would be talking about him very differently.
Yeah,
he would be talked about as one of the top players in that position, rather than not even no one really talks about him.
Yeah, and I think like I said before, I think he would fit in so well, because I think when he's on it, he's a real hard worker. And when you look at Spurs, how they were pressing yesterday, he would just add to that. And he's got quality in the final third as well.
But he loves booking, though.
He loves booking. He does love it.
He does love it. I think bets on Paqueta to be booked every game are going to be very high.
Yeah, imagine Paqueta and João Palhinha in the midfield three.
Oh, God. But yeah, look, I really can't see this happening.
Yeah.
I mean, I wonder.
What can you see happening?
I don't know, but I wonder how much they would command. It says their market value 28 million. So I'm wondering, does he have a contract situation? Is it running down? Because surely his market value would be higher than that, I would have thought, on transfer market, given he's 27 and given how good he is.
Contract 2027.
So 2 years left.
Yeah.
I mean, it's yeah.
Well, at the end of this year, he'll be going into his last year.
I'd be shocked if he signs another one.
Exactly. So maybe they're going to have to sell at some point.
Maybe, but that I mean, they've also got so much to do. West Ham, can they afford to lose Paqueta?
If they sell Paqueta this summer, surely they're like odds on for the drop. Like, seriously, the way they're playing.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, it would be madness. I mean, how much do you think? In the context of we've signed Kudus from them, we're direct rival, we're the biggest rivals. How much do you think would a bid would have to be to even make them consider it?
50 million.
50? That low? I would have said 70.
I think you can get him out for 50.
Really? You think a 50 million bid they accept?
Maybe not from Spurs, but I think generally, if a team offers 50 million for Paqueta,
I'm saying us. I'm saying for us.
I don't know. It seems like the West Ham board don't really give a shit. So.
Yeah, maybe.
I think 50 million. I think test the waters with 50 million and see what happens.
I don't think they accept 50.
I don't think they accept 55 for Kudus.
Yeah, you're right. Right about that. Maybe they will.
So look, that is your Tottenham update today. Let us know in the comment section below your thoughts regarding all those transfer stories